Believe it or not, all my predictions about today's Tesla stock price, high and low and open high, all these predictions were fulfilled today. So in this video, I will briefly talk about this kind of predictions. I will also introduce you awesome buy low and sell high tool that I think it is perfect from my point of view, and I will also analyze the Tesla stock price and predict the high and low for tomorrow. So stay tuned, and also if you like this video, subscribe this Uping stock prediction channel, because it will give you a lot of effective and useful information. So you are also welcome to subscribe Uping stock trend prediction channel or watch more video in YouTube. Or if you like this kind of tool, you can check more on upingstock.com, its online store. So in Uping stock trend prediction video number 150, I uploaded to YouTube on August 26th. That's basically 2 days ago. I predicted the early week for this week. That's basically today, Monday, and early week I predicted based on this prediction model. I mentioned this yellow trend line, this point could be a daily low. So at $236 is likely to be the daily low. So if this can be held, it may drop down to this $233. And I also mentioned early week, this week, so it will open high and will push it up to $243, and then it will drop high. So I predict it is $243. So if you check today's Tesla's stock price, the daily high is at this price is $243.97. So it's just about 97 cents higher than what I predicted the daily high. And I predicted this 236 is also could be a daily low, 236, and the actual price is about $235.3, so it's about 70 cents lower than what I predicted. And I also mentioned in the last video, I mentioned in early week it will open high and will also first push it to $243. So in the actual opening is much higher than the last week's. So it's also open high. It's open high on Monday and push it up to $243 and then drop it down. So it's exactly what consistent with what I predicted in last video, uploaded before today. So, and I will also introduce you to a tool. I think that could be the best model, best estimate buy low and sell high tool. So this is BLASH model. The BLASH, BLASH, stands for buy low and sell high. So this model with 4 trend lines simplifies the whole process, so it will also be very good for even for beginners. So, and you see this is the daily chart, and this is a 60 minutes chart for Tesla. So for this daily chart today, it opened here a little bit below the top yellow trend line, and it dropped down to this the top blue trend line. So it's just fluctuate around this band, and so this 4 trend lines just consisted of 2 yellow trend line and 2 bottom blue trend lines. So almost all fluctuations are enclosed between this top yellow trend line and the bottom blue trend lines. So this is the daily charts, and you know, for each current time frame when the first real-time data was received, is when the first data point is received, and all these trend lines, these target high and target low are already automatically generated. So it's basically a kind of a predicted target high and target low for the current time frame, because from the first data point in the current time frame, it will fluctuate among this band, among this range. So this is for the daily chart. So you can see all this daily fluctuation are almost bounded, enclosed in between this kind of top yellow trend line and the bottom blue trend lines. And this is a 60 minutes chart, and you can see 60 minutes chart for even for today. All these fluctuations are enclosed between these two trend lines, and so it eliminates two other trend lines, especially for the middle range. So you don't have to kind of make some kind of your own decision, and almost for all time frame, and not like 100%, but most of time frames it's almost touches the top and the bottom, almost fluctuate in the whole full range. So this is also a kind of a good model. So this is a daily and 60 minutes chart. All these fluctuations are enclosed in this trend lines, and these trend lines are generated just after the first data point is received. So it's a kind of a predicted target high and target low. And I can also show you 15 minutes and 5 minutes, and it's even more accurate. So if I change it to 15 minutes, this is a 15 minutes chart, so that means each vertical bar is 15 minutes of fluctuation. And after the first data point of each time frame, after the first data point is received, and then all these trend lines, the target high and target low are already generated, and basically is almost not changed. Probably it's just may have a little bit minor adjustment when if the stock price approach this trend line and may have a very strong momentum, and then it may have a little bit adjustment, but generally typically it will not change. So it's a very good prediction, and you see all these 15 minutes, it's almost cover the high and the low. So if for example, if it opened here and fluctuated in this range, and you see this two yellow trend line point and there's two blue trend line point, then you will know at some time, at a certain time in this 15 minutes time frame, it will still try to find the support, try to find the low price. So if you are patient and wait a little bit longer, and then you will get a lower price, and try to get a lower price around this price. So basically you will have a better chance to determine if this is at a lower price, so you can buy at a low price, and you will know if it is a high price, it is a high in this time frame, and so you can make a decision to sell high. So that means buy at a low, sell at a high. So it's a good model. So this is 15 minutes. So this after this tool and is applied. So this applied using the advanced AI algorithm. So after you applied this algorithm, so all these trend lines are generated, and also you can see from historical data that will give you more confidence about how accurate it is and how effective it is to capture all this kind of effective high and low, even for the current for each 15 minutes time frame. And if I switch to 5 minutes chart, it also have a very good accuracy. So this is the 5 minutes chart. So even for 5 minutes chart, all this fluctuation of 5 minutes are also included in inside this kind of top yellow trend line and the bottom blue trend line. So you can see all these 5 minutes. So this has several continuous 5 minutes to have a continuous drop. So this when it have a few 5 minutes drop is typically represent a continuous drop in 15 minutes or 60 minutes or in a larger time frame. But even inside that larger time frame, there's still 5 minutes fluctuation, and there's a high and a low for 5 minutes fluctuation, 5 minutes time frame. So you can see even for this kind of increase, there's a few 5 minutes continuous increase. So that typically is a continuous increase for 15 minutes or 60 minutes. So even inside that 60 minutes, or there's still 5 minutes of fluctuation, and even for this 5 minutes of fluctuation, it's still included in between these trend lines. So if you already know this kind of a trend line, when the first data point is generated, is received, and then you for example, if this is received here and it's very close to this bottom trend line, so it's very close to this current low price for this 5 minutes chart. So that means you will expect to see a higher price for this 5 minutes chart. So this kind of difference, even for 5 minutes, $237.3 to this $237.9, there's a 60 cents of difference. So even for 60 cents of difference, but if you have many volumes or many shares, if you purchase like 500 shares or 1,000 shares, then you will still get a noticeable amount of money. You will earn a noticeable amount of money. So you can see all this kind of fluctuation, even for 5 minutes, are still enclosed in this trend lines. For this 5 minutes, so it may have a little bit exclusion, so it dropped a little bit more, but after it dropped a little more below this bottom trend line, after a certain time, after a couple of minutes, it will still increase up. And increase up when it dropped to a low, and it will increase much higher. So when you see when it dropped here, and it will increase to here, and it will continue to have several couple of 5 minutes, and even increase up to here. So you see all these kind of 5 minutes fluctuation are predicted by these trend lines. So okay, so many people, because this model, these trend lines will be generated after the first real-time data is received, because it will use a real-time data. So this prediction is different from the prediction model that I have used for many YouTube videos. So in that videos, I can predict the next week, for example, the next time frames, high and low, just based on the previous historic data. So it will, I don't need to wait until I receive the first data point of the real-time data in the next time frame. So I can, after the current time frame is completed, and then I can do the prediction for the next time frame. So because I generally have time to do work on the videos on weekend, so I have to use that prediction model, do my best to give you a prediction, because that is totally based on the historic data. I don't have to wait until the next morning or next day or next week begin to give a prediction. But this kind of prediction, like the buy low, sell high, Blash model, Blash tool, or high low pro, or trade map, all those kind of models are also using the historic data and the first data of the current time frame. So it will be predicted the target high and the target low for the current time frame. So many people will be interested in what will happen next tomorrow. So let's go to prediction model, because I don't have to wait until tomorrow to give this prediction. So today is August 28th, so there's just 3 more days left in August. So this is today's fluctuation daily chart, and this is today's fluctuation. It opened here around this middle yellow trend line and closed here above this yellow trend line. So generally, if it's still above this yellow trend line, so it means it may still have a good increasing momentum and increasing trend. But tomorrow, this yellow trend line is also elevated a little bit, so this price is almost the same as this closing price. So tomorrow it will be a little bit tricky, so it depends on how it will be opened. If it opened above this yellow trend line and when it dropped to this yellow trend line, it may still have a good chance to still go up to this $242.3, $242.3, and then it may still have a good resistance here, so it may still drop, just fluctuate around this range. So there's a still possibility if it's tomorrow, if it's opened a little bit lower or a little bit lower, then there's $238.8, and also if it's still have a temporary decreasing trend, it may decrease to this $235. So but it's still after it, if it it dropped down to this $235, it still have a good chance to bounce it back or bounce it up to this $242. So generally, during this week, that's last several days of August, the general trend, it will still have a good chance to push up, generally to at least to push up to this weekly, the middle yellow trend line. So this price is $248. That's based on the weekly chart. So weekly chart, so it will I think very likely or almost at least to reach this $248. So if it has a good increasing momentum, it may have a little bit of struggle, because this is also could be a strong resistance, but it will still try to push up and try to exceed this price. So this could finally, there's a good chance, still a good chance, finally it will be exceeded and break through and may goes up to this band, to this region. So if I change it to this monthly chart, so during the first day of this month, I showed this chart several times, a couple of times, and I also realized that the continuous drop of this stock price, and you see this monthly chart, August, it almost dropped down to this bottom blue trend line and started to increase, and so it dropped down to this blue trend line and then started to increase. And then when it increases, it's a relatively slow process, a struggling process. And right now it's almost the increase to here. So this blue trend line, when it increased from the bottom to the top, then this kind of blue trend lines are still kind of resistance. So if it breaks through that, and then it will continuously trying to increase, but this month it may not be exactly reach up to this yellow trend line 263, even though it may have a chance, including early of next month, but that's still this week. So it may have a chance of opportunity to increase up to this $263, but this process may have a little bit of struggle around this price range. But if it increased up to here, and then many people may have a more confidence to buy, and then it may even push it up to this. But you know, this is still a kind of uncertainty range. So if it can't break through this blue trend line, it may drop a little bit or may stay around some price. Depends on the weekly chart or daily chart, depends on how it goes, how it open and close for these days, and it may stop around somewhere in this range. So that's the analysis and the prediction for this week or tomorrow. So if you are interested in this kind of analysis and the prediction, you are welcome to subscribe Uping Stock Trend Prediction channel or watch more video in YouTube.